Hi students, this is a thermal properties of matter. So in this, the first problem is a metal has a coefficient of free expansion of alpha, this is given, and period of oscillation is 2 seconds, loss of time in 10 hours. Time period of a pendulum is given by 2 pi root L by G. Here when the temperature increases, we know that length also increases. So what is the time period at high temperature? This is L dash by G, which you can write as 2 pi root L into 1 plus alpha delta theta by G. Now, if you simplify this equation, finally you will get the loss of time is given by delta T is half alpha delta theta. This is a time for 1 second. For 1 day, this will become delta T for 1 day is given by half alpha delta theta into 86,400 seconds per day. But here they are asking for 10 hours. So for 10 hours, this will become half alpha delta theta into each hour 3,600 seconds, 10 hours 36,000 seconds. So this you can cancel it as 18,000. So this will be 18,000 into alpha 2 into 10 power minus 5. Change in temperature here is initially it was at 15 degrees and finally 25. So temperature difference is 10 degrees, that is 25 minus 15. So 18 2s are 36 into 10 power 4 minus 1, 10 power minus 1, 3.6 seconds. That means within 10 hours it loses 3.6 seconds. Option 1 is correct. Problem number 2. Two bars of length LA, LB, quotient of expansion alpha A, alpha B respectively are joined end to end. So this is the first one. The second one is given like this, but their lengths are different. When they are joined together, area must be same. So what are the length of this one? This is LA, this is LB, this is alpha A, this is alpha B. The effective quotient of free expansion is dash. We know that if there is a change in length due to heat, by heating, let us say this is delta LA, and similarly a similar change can be seen here, not exactly equal. This is the delta LB. The total change in length of the bar is equal to, on heating, this is change in length in the first bar and change in length in the second bar. What is delta L bar? Total length LA plus LB into alpha into delta theta, because alpha is equal to L2 minus L1 by L1 into delta theta. So delta L, this is delta L is equal to L alpha delta theta. That initial length of this rod before heating was this one, alpha delta theta. If you multiply this, you will get a change in length of the composite rod, which is given by this delta L is equal to delta LAB is equal to delta L into alpha A into change in temperature. This is alpha LB, alpha B change in temperature. If you take change in temperature common, you can cancel this one. And finally, the effective quotient of this linear expansion is given by LA alpha A plus LB alpha B by LA plus LB. Be careful with the options because all are seems to be similar here, but here option 1 is correct. Third one, the moment of inertia of a thin uniform rod about an axis perpendicular to its length. If you take a rod of length L, mass M, perpendicular to its moment of inertia is given by M L square by 12. If the temperature of rod is increased, mass never changes but length increases. Then what the moment of inertia of the rod increases by dash. So this is change in the moment of inertia. Here I am going to write I1 by I2 is given by M L1 square by 12 by M L2 square by 12. 12 mass get cancelled. L1 by L2 whole square. They are asking the change in moment of inertia. As the length increases, I2 will be greater than I1. So I am going to write I2 by I1 is equal L2 by L1 whole square. Here, temperature increased by theta, so final length is equal to L into 1 plus alpha delta theta by L whole square. Here L cancelled. I2 by I1 is given by, this will be 1 plus alpha delta theta whole square. Delta theta is very small here, small change in temperature. So this is in the form of 1 plus x whole power n, it can be 1 plus 2n, 2x or 2n. We know this 1 plus x whole power n is equal to 1 plus nx. if x is much lesser than 1. So I am using this binomial expansion here, approximation 1 plus alpha delta theta can be written as 2 alpha delta theta. Bring this 1 here, this is I2 by I1 minus 1 is equal 2 alpha delta theta. This is I2 minus I1 by I1 is equal 2 alpha delta theta. They are asking the change in this one, no differential. So this is delta I is equal 2 alpha I into delta theta. So answer is 2 alpha I into theta, that is delta theta is theta here, option 2 is correct. Fourth, a block of wood is floating on water at 0 degrees with certain volume P below the surface of water. This is water level. Here a block is floating with a certain volume P is within the liquid or water. So this shaded region is P. Now when the temperature of water is slowly raised to 10 degrees, so we are heating water from 0 degrees to 10 degrees centigrade. So what is the value of P? What happens to this volume of the block within the water? We know that from 0 degrees centigrade to 4 degrees centigrade, when the temperature increases, the volume of the water will not increase, it will decrease according to enormous expansion of water. So from 0 to 4, volume of water decreases. When the volume decreases, we know density is equal to mass by volume. When the volume decreases, density will increase. That means density of water increases. Density of water increases from 0 to 4 and will come maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. This is also very important. At what temperature the density of water is maximum? Answer is 4 degrees centigrade. Now, after that, from 4 degrees centigrade to 10 degrees centigrade, so volume of water increases. As a result, density decreases. So in this case, when it is increased from 0 to 10 degrees, till this range, the density of water increases. When the density increases, that means the density of water increases, the level of this one first, that means P, as the density increases, we know that upward thrust is given by rho Vg, that is density of water. As density increases, upthrust will increase, so this block will go up. That means P value will reduce, P value decreases. So P decreases in this case from 0 to 4 degrees. After that, from 4 to 10 degrees, as the density of water decreases, upthrust decreases, then the weight of the block remains same, which is more. So P value here increases. So in this problem, it is not continuously increasing, it is not continuously decreasing. Here it decreases up to 4 degrees and then increases. Option 4 is correct. And for certain mass of gas, the isothermal curves between P and V. So this is pressure and volume. So these curves are called isotherms. Now, at T1 and T2 degrees centigrade respectively are shown in figure. So what is the relation between temperatures here? Which is more, which is less? To find out this concept here, let me take one horizontal line to x-axis here. So this is a horizontal line. Here if you see, this is the volume V1 and this is the volume V2. That means at a constant pressure, here pressure is constant pressure, you can see V1 less than V2. At constant pressure means Charles law. According to Charles law, V directly proportional to T at P is equal to constant. This K is constant. So here volume is less here, volume is more here along a volume axis. So V directly proportional to T. So V1 less than V2 means, from this what we can write, T1 less than T2. So option 1 is correct. Sixth one, 4 copper rods of different radii and length are used to connect 2 reservoirs at heat temperatures. So this is first reservoir, this is second reservoir. So 4 rods are connected between these two. at different temperatures. Now that means these temperatures are theta 1 and theta 2. Among the following, one that conducts more heat. The quantity of heat flowing through a conductor is given by Ka theta 2 minus theta 1 T by L. If theta is greater than theta 2 greater than theta 1, heat will flow in this direction. Now, based on this formula, in which one the heat flow will be more? That is Q by T. You bring this T here. This is quantity of heat flowing for unit time is more. You can see as all rods are copper rods, K will be constant, but area and lengths are different. This is temperature difference between these two results also same. So quantity of heat flowing for unit time directly proportional to area and proportional to L. What we can write? Pi R square, that is R square by L. So what is Q by T1 here? Directly proportional. First one, R square by L, that is 1 square by 1. Even though these are given in centimeter, 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 and the lengths are given in meters, I am not going to convert that centimeter to meter, just I am taking R square value, R square, because all are similar. Otherwise, if it is centimeter, if it is meter, then I have to convert this into meters. Here R square, that is 1 square by 1. So this is 1. So Q by 2 in the second case, this is R square. 2 square by 2, that is 4 by 2. So this is 2. Third one, Q by T in the third case is given by 1 square by 2, that is 1 by 2. And Q by T in the fourth case, 2 square, that is 2 square by 0.5, that is 2 square is 4, this 1 by 2 means this is 8 by 1. Now in which the flow of heat is more? Means in this 8 half to 1. So this fourth one is more. So option 4 is correct. A cylindrical rod with one end in steam chamber, other end is in ice. So this is a cylindrical rod with one end in steam. This is steam, and the other end is in ice cube. Now results in melting of 0.1 grams of ice per second. In this case, 0.1 grams of ice is melting per second in the first case. If the rod is replaced by another rod, half the length and double the radius. So for this, let me take half of the length, but the radius is doubled here. So I have taken the same rod only, made of same material. Now, half the length, this is L by 2, this is R, this is 2R. Now, if the thermal conductive material of the second rod is 1/4 of the first one, that means these are not made of same material. This is K, this is K by 4, 1/4 of the first one, K by 4. What the rate at which the ice melts in this one is given by dash. We are going to use the same concept here because of heat is flowing through a conductor. So Q by T this much. What is the quantity of heat here? This quantity of heat is melting some quantity of ice here. So this you can write. Mass of the ice melt by latent heat of ice by T is equal to Ka delta theta by L. If you bring this capital here, remember this is length of rod, this is a latent heat of ice. So now what I am going to do, mass of the ice melts per unit time in the first case by mass of the ice melts in the second case is given by first one K, area pi R square, change in temperature as it is steam and ice, by length of this rod is L, latent heat is L. This is the first case. By in the second case, K is K by 4 and the radius is doubled here, that is pi 2R square. So 4 pi R square change in temperature delta theta by the length is L by 2, latent heat is L. Now what you can cancel in this one, be careful in these type of problems. Some students are making mistakes while cancel this one. Here K and K get cancelled, pi R square and pi R square get cancelled, change in temperature is same, L capital is same. So this value is given as 0.1. So 0.1 grams by this M by T2 is equal. Here everything is cancelled, here 1. And here you can see this 4 and 4 get cancelled, the remaining terms are 2. So cross multiplication M by T2 in the second case is equal to 0.2 grams per second. So option 3 is correct. Eighth one, a wall has 2 layers A and B each of different material. So I have taken a wall here. This wall is made of 2 different materials and these are named as A and B. Now the layer of A is 10 centimeter and thick and B is 20 centimeters. So this is 10, this is 20. So let me divide this wall into two parts. This is a 10 centimeter, this is a 20 centimeter. The thermal count of A is thrice that of B. So if it is K, this is 3K. Now the temperature difference outside the face of A and B is 35. So let us say you take this as a theta 1 and theta 2. Theta 1 minus theta 2 is equal to 35 degrees centigrade. Under steady state, the temperature difference across the layer A. So here what is, let us say this temperature at this junction is theta. They are asking what is theta 1 minus theta. Temperature difference between the two sides of this wall A. Now in this case also we are going to use the same formula, that is Q by T is equal to Ka delta theta by that length of this one L. Under steady state, the quantity of heat flowing through this combination will be same. That is, quantity of heat flowing through the first rod in a given time is equal to quantity of heat flowing through the second wall in the same time. What is Q by T? So let me take, this is Ka, area of A, change in temperature between A by time, this length L, that is LA, is equal to KB AB, change in temperature between B by LB. Now let me substitute these values. Ka is given as 3K, this is 3K. Area of this one, both must be same when they are connected in series, and the change in temperature across this one, that is theta 1 minus theta, that I am going to find by length is 10 centimeters. This side, this is K. Change in temperature here is, that is theta minus theta 2. What we can say, the temperature difference between these two ends is 35. This is theta 1 minus theta. What is the temperature between these two? This is nothing but 35 minus theta 1 minus theta. So total difference between these two is 35. This is theta 1 minus theta. So this will be 35 minus this value. So here I am going to write 35 minus theta plus theta 1. That is 35 minus theta 1 minus of minus plus theta. The length of this one is 20. Even though they are in centimeters, even if I write centimeter here, 10 for minus 1 get cancelled. So I am not writing this one. So this is 2. This kk get cancelled. Now cross multiply. 3 2s are 6 into theta 1 minus theta is equal. This will be 35 minus theta plus theta. So from this what we can write? 6 theta 1 minus 6 theta. 6 theta 1 minus 6 theta is equal. This is 35 minus theta 1 plus theta. You can see this 6 theta 1. If you bring this minus theta 1 this side, it will become 7 theta 1. It will become minus 7 theta 1. Minus 6 theta, if it comes this side, this will become minus 7 theta is equal to 35. You can take 7 common here. So if you take 7 common, theta 1 minus theta is the temperature difference between the two sides of the wall. That is 7 1s so 7 5s. So answer is 5 degrees centigrade. Option 4 is correct. Ninth one, ice starts forming in a lake with water at 0 degrees when atmospheric temperature is minus 15. If time taken for 1 centimeter deep is ice to be formed is 4 hours, the time taken for this thickness of ice changes from 1 to 3 centimeters. We know this formula. Time taken for the ice formation is given by rho L by 2k theta x2 square minus x1 square. So this is also derived from the same expression. Q is equal to Ka delta theta T by L only. Here I am denoting this as ml. So if you take this mass is very small dm, and if it is d theta, this is delta theta, this is dt. By integrating this one, finally you will end up with this equation. Now in this case, rho is density of ice constant, latent of ice is 80 calories per gram constant, 2 constant, K is the thermal conductivity of the ice formed constant, and temperature difference between this one, that is minus 15 to 0, is also constant. So it only depends upon the square of the thickness of this ice formed. So T in the first case is directly proportional to x2 square minus x1 square. This is the formula that I am going to use. In the first case it is taking 4 hours. In the second case, how much time it is going to take? So T1 by T2 is equal, first the this ice is formed 1 centimeter from 0. So this will be 1 square minus 0 square by, second case 1 to 3, that is a final thickness is 3 centimeter, this is 1 square. This is given as 4 by T2 is equal to 1 by, this is 9 minus 1, 8. So 8 fours are 32 hours. That means for this ice to form, it will take 32 hours. Option 3 is correct. Problem number 10. The intensity of radiation emitted by a sun has maximum value of wavelength of 510 and the emitted by the North Star has wavelength as 350. If these stars has act as black bodies, then ratio of the surface temperature of the sun and the North Star. This is Wien's displacement law. The maximum wavelength corresponding to the maximum intensity is inversely proportional to the temperature. So directly I am going to write it, lambda 1 by lambda 2 is equal T2 by T1. Here lambda sun by lambda North Star is equal temperature of North Star by temperature of sun. So be careful in these type of problems which is given as sun. So this is a maximum value at value of 510 nanometer, that is sun. So this is 510 by lambda North Star is 350. Temperature of North Star we need and the temperature of sun is this. What they are asking surface temperature of sun and this one, that means T sun by T north. You can cancel this one. This is T sun by T North Star is equal to 35 by 51. You can see this value, it is not divisible, but this is nearly 35, this is nearly 40. This is exact 35, this is nearly 40. So 5 sevens, 5 tenths, 50. But it is more than 1, so 50.5. 50.2 here. So this is 7 by 10 means 0.7. If 7 by 10.2 means less than 0.7, that is 0.69, which is the nearer one here. This is the nearest answer. So option 2 is correct. 11th one. At a specific temperature, the emissive powers of a black body for 3 different wavelengths are 10, 19, 7. So these are the emissive powers of perfect black body. So we denote this as E at different wavelengths. So E lambda 1 is 10. E at a different temperature lambda 2 is 19. E at a third wavelength is 7 units. For these wavelengths, if the absorption coefficients of the body are respectively 0.8, for this absorption coefficient is 0.8, for this absorption coefficient is 0.3, for this absorption coefficient is given as 0.9. So what are the emissive powers of these bodies in the ratio? From Kirchhoff's law of radiation, the ratio between emissive power at a given wavelength to the absorption power of the same wavelength is equal to the emissive power of the perfect black body at the same temperature. This is Kirchhoff's law of radiation. We need the ratio of the emissive powers of these bodies. This is the emissive power. So E lambda is equal to capital E lambda into A lambda. So E lambda 1 is to E lambda 2 is to E lambda 3 is equal capital E lambda 1 A lambda 1 is to capital E lambda 2 A lambda 2 is to capital E lambda 3 A lambda 3. Now you just multiply these two to get this emissive ratio of the emissive powers. That is 10 into 0.8. This is 8 is to 19 into 3. This is 5.7 is to 7 into 9, 6.3. So these are the ratios. 8 is to 5.7 is to 6.3. So option 3 is correct. 12th one, a body cools from 90 to 80 in 10 minutes. Under the same conditions, time taken by body to cool from 80 to 70. Now, from Newton's law of cooling, the change in temperature, the rate at which the temperature decreased, the rate of cooling is equal to some constant K into average temperature minus temperature of the surroundings. This is Newton's law of cooling. In this case, this is 90 minus 80 by the time is given 10 is K into 90 plus 80 by 2, that is 85 minus theta s by, in the second case this is 80 minus 70 by T is equal to K into 75 minus theta 2. You can see this, if the temperature surround is around 30, this will become around 45, this will become 55. As this value is more, this will take less time. As this value is less, this will take more time. So T is greater than 10 minutes. So answer is more than 10 minutes. Option 3 is correct. 13th one, this is also based on Newton's law of cooling. So I am going to use this formula. Theta 2 minus theta 1 by T is K of theta 2 plus theta 1 by 2 minus theta S. In the first problem, it is from 50 to 49.9. So this is 50 minus 49.9 by time is 5 seconds K into the average of these two is 50 plus 49.9 by 2. So this become 49.95 and the temperature of the surroundings is given as 30. By in the second case, this was 40 and decreased to 39.9 in some time, which is given by the average of these two is given by 39.95 minus 30. These two get cancelled. This is also 0.1. So this will go up. T by 5 is equal. This is 19.95. This is exactly 9.95. This is almost equal to 2 times. So time is equal to 10 seconds. Option 2 is correct. 14. The power radiated by a black body P and it radiates maximum energy around the wavelength lambda naught. So this is lambda naught. If the temperature of the black body now changes so that it radiates maximum energy around lambda naught by 3, then power radiated by this will become. Here if you see this problem is based on 2 different laws, because they are asking the relation between power and wavelength. According to Stephen's law, the power radiated by a body directly proportional to 4th power of absolute temperature. But this is from Stephen's law. But from Wien's displacement law, wavelength inversely proportional to temperature or temperature proportional to wavelength. If you combine these two, or T inversely proportional to lambda. Now this is P directly to T power 4, T inversely to lambda. So if you combine this and this, P directly equal to, in place of T, write 1 by lambda whole power 4. So power inversely proportional to lambda power 4. So this is the option. Now in this case, P1 by P2 is equal to lambda 2 by lambda 1 whole power 4. The initial power is given as P. The final power that we are going to find, lambda 2 is lambda naught by 3 into lambda naught whole power 4. These two get cancelled. This is 3 3s are 9, 9 3s 27, 81. So the final power will be 81 times the initial power. So option 1 is correct. 10. In the thermal radiation emitted by a black body maintained at 1445 Kelvin, the wavelength was of the component of maximum intensity is given as dash. This is also Wien's displacement law. Lambda is equal to the Wien's constant B by T. They are asked to find out the wavelength. B is equal to 2.89 into 10 power minus 3. That is meter Kelvin. So SI unit. By temperature of this one is 1445. So this is 2890 into 10 power minus 6 by 1445. These two get cancelled. So this is 2 into 10 power minus 6 meters wavelength, or 2000 into 10 power minus 9, or 20,000 into 10 power minus 10, because answer is given in angstroms. So this will be 20,000 angstroms is the answer. So the option 4 is correct. 16. The ratio of thermocouplings of 2 rods is 4:3. We know from this Newton, this law of conductivity, this is called as thermal conductance. The reciprocal of this one is called thermal resistance. So L by Ka is called thermal resistance, similar to electrical resistance. Here thermal conductance of 2 rods are 4:3. That is K1 by K2 is equal to 4 by 3. Here thermal resistance are constant, same, then ratio of their lengths are. So as the resistance of the first rod is equal to resistance of second rod, what we can write? L1 by K1 A1 is equal L2 by K2 A2. In this problem it is given that they are having same radii. That means radius of both are equal means area must be equal. So A1, A2 get cancelled. Now I want L1 by L2 which is given by K1 by K2 and K1 by K2 is 4 by 3. So answer is first option. The temperature of piece of metal rises from 27 to 51. The rate at which the metal radiates energy increases by. According to Stephen's law, energy radiated by a body for unit time for unit area is equal to sigma into T power 4, where sigma is the Stephen's constant. So in this case, the rate means the rate at which energy changes. This second rate is power directly proportional to T power 4 because sigma area are constant. Now, what is P1 by P2? That is T1 by T2 whole power 4. But here temperature is given in Celsius scale, but I need to convert it into Kelvin scale. So this is 273 plus 27 by 273 plus 51.2 whole power 4. They are asking how many times the power increases. That is P2 by P1 is equal 273 plus 50. This will become 320. That will take 2, 1 plus 3, 4, 5, 12. So 324.2 by this is 300 whole power 4. So this is P2 by P1 can be written as 300 plus 24 by 2 by 300 whole power 4. So this is 1 plus 24.2 by 300 whole power 4. Now this value is very small. If the option is given in this form, that is if the expression is in the form of 1 plus x whole power n, this can be written as 1 plus nx if x is very small. When compared to 300, 24 is small. So we can write P2 by P1 is given by, or you can cancel this one also. This is nearly 25 once and this will be 25, 4, 3 is 12. So this will be 1 plus 4 into 1 by 12, this 4 ones 4 3s, this 3 plus 1 4 by 3. So P2 will be 4 by 3 times of P1. This is not the exact value, nearest value. So they are asking that's why nearly. So what is 4 by 3? This is 1.33 P1. As this value is not exactly 25, so the nearest option is 1.36 P1. So power is given by, so option 4 is correct. 18th one. The earth receives radiation from sun at its surface at the rate of p watt per meter square. The distance of the center of the sun from the surface of earth is given as r meters and the radius of earth is given as capital R meter. Treating the sun as a black body, it follows from the above data that surface temperature sun is dash. Here this is our earth and the distance between sun and earth is given as capital R, and this is a sun of radius capital R. Now, as sun radiates energy, the radiation will travel in all possible directions. So, in this problem, we are treating sun as the black body. So, what is the energy emitted by sun here? E by T is equal to sigma EA T power 4. So, the energy radiated per unit time is given by, this is E is equal, this is given as P. Here earth receives heat energy, but I am not taking that one. E by T is equal to sigma E, area of the sun is 4 pi r square T power 4. So this is the power radiated by the sun. But in this, how much energy will be received by earth here per unit area? Because this is for p watt per meter square per unit area. But this power will radiate in all possible directions. So what is the energy radiated per unit area per 1 meter square? This is for 4 pi r square. This is the surface area of this one. But this will spread in a big spherical of surface area 4 pi r square. So this is the energy. That is 4 pi r square sigma E T power 4 energy will spread in a sphere of surface area 4 pi r square. But for 1 meter square area, this is 4 pi r square meters area. For 1 meter square area, this will become 4 pi r square sigma E T power 4 by 4 pi small r square. 4 pi get cancelled. So for 1 meter square area, this much energy will be received by earth. So for 1 meter square area, the energy received is r square by small r square sigma e t power 4. Remember students, for sun, as it is a perfect black body, for a perfect black body E is equal to 1. So I can remove this one, I can write E there as 1. So this must be equal to P. They are asking us to find out the temperature of the sun. So T power 4 is equal P r square by sigma r square, capital R square. But T power 4 means fourth root of this one. This is P r square by sigma r square. So option 1 is correct. 19. A black body is at a temperature of 2880 Kelvin. The energy of radiation emitted by this object with wavelength 499 and 500 nanometers is around U1. Between 999 to 1000 it is U2. Between 1499 to 1500 it is U3. If Wien's constant is this is a 2.8946 nanometer Kelvin, then what is the relation between these three energies? We know from the maximum energy radiation, this is lambda, this is energy. We know the nature of the graph here. Here in this case, when the wavelength is around 499 to 500, the corresponding energy was U1. And when the wavelength increases, we know that energy also increases to U2. And then when the wavelength, this is around 999 to 1000 nanometer, this is 1499 to 1500 nanometers, the corresponding energy is U3. So from this graph itself you can say that the maximum energy is irradiated by this one at the middle wavelength region. So U2 greater than U3 and also greater than U1. So the option 2 is correct. 10th one, the specific heat of oxygen at constant pressure is Cp is equal 7.03 calories per mole per degree centigrade, and R is given as 8.32 joules per mole per degree centigrade. You can see the answers are given in calories. So I need to convert this joule into calories. R is equal to 8.32 by 4.2 calories per mole per degree centigrade. Now, what is the quantity amount of heat taken by 5 moles of oxygen when heated at constant volume from 10 to 20? So quantity of heat required is equal to NCV dt, that is temperature difference. Number of moles 5. Cv is not given but Cpr is given. We know that from Mayer's equation Cp minus Cv is equal to R, or Cv is equal to Cp minus R into change in temperature 20 minus 10. So this is 5 into 10, this is 15. Cp value 7.03 minus 8.32 by 4.2. You can see this is nearly equal to 2, not exactly 2, I am telling nearly equal to 2. So 7 minus 2 means 5, 550 is nearly 250, but it is slightly more than, so option will be 3 will be correct. 21st. A cylindrical cylinder of radius capital R made of material thermoconductivity K1 is surrounded by another cylindrical shell of inner radius R and outer radius 2R made of material K2. The two ends of the combined system are maintained at two different temperatures. There is no loss of heat across the cylindrical surface and the system is in a steady state. That means there is no loss of heat to the surroundings. Then the effective thermal conductivity of the system is here. This is the inner cylinder of radius R. The radius of this one is R, and the outer cylinder having a radius 2R. Outer this one, this is 2R, but inner radius is R. This is a shell. And these ends are maintained at same temperature. What is the effective conductivity of this system? In this, if you supply heat energy, as these two are in parallel to each other, in parallel combination, we know that 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 in parallel. Why it is parallel? If we give heat energy here, some heat will flow through the inner cylinder and some heat will flow through the outer cylinder. So here the heat is dividing, just like in parallel combination of resistors, current divides, here heat is dividing, heat energy or rate of flow of heat is dividing. So we know that resistance of this one is L by Ka. So how you connect this one? 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So 1 by R is can be written as Ka by L is equal K1 A1 by L1 plus K2 A2 by L2. In this system, as the lengths are same, I am going to cancel this one. The effective thermal conductivity of this combination is K. The total area of this one, if the radius of this one is 2R, total area pi R square, that is 4 pi R square is equal. This is K1 into internal area pi R square and K2 into external area, only this white color region. So otherwise let me denote this with the blue. So this is the area that we need to consider, only this area. This is nothing but the outer in area minus inner area, which is going by pi into 2R square minus pi into R square. So pi into 4R square minus R square, 2R whole square means 4R square. So now you can cancel this pi here. So this is only area pi R square. So this can be written as, sorry, this 4k R square is equal, this is K1 R square plus K2 into 3R square. This R square get cancelled. So K is equal K1 plus 3K2 by 4. So this is the effective thermal conductivity of this combination. Here option 3 is correct.